Ton of money? Really? Okay, well guess what? He's going to tell you the changes he made and what to do and how to do it. You see, these are the people in the car business that are getting the job done now. And they're in different states, they sell different product. The only thing advantage they had of everybody else, they got different kind of information how to get there. You know, if you think it's okay to work 50, 55 hours a week for the rest of your life, if you're content with that, go ahead, but it's not necessary. You know, many years ago, in 1988, I met a guy who made $60 million a year, and he changed my life by asking me a couple questions, and I'll share that with you. He said, "Why do you come to work?" So I asked you all the same question. Why do you come to work? Okay, that's what I said. His answer was, no, you come to work to have things, assets. I said, make money, pay bills. Well, he said, Fred, you don't have to own a car, you don't have to own a house. Okay, by the way, the back of your book, every time you get speakers here, you know, if someone says something that you like and you're not doing, please write it down, because when we have the breaks, we're going to go around the tables and talk to you about it. This is called a workshop, just unless somebody's standing up here gabbing away. We want to have you get some information that when you go back to your dealership, you can put it into effect right away. Okay? So anyway, come to work to have things, assets. That's the whole purpose of coming to work, is to have things. So it didn't take me long to realize that. And here's another question he asked me that just, well, I had the luxury to talk to him for an hour. When he saw I became a student instead of defending myself why I wasn't doing things, man, did this guy open up. I mean, it was just one incredible thing after another. And he said to me, other than God, thinking like a business person, what's the most important thing you have? So I'll ask you the same question. Other than God, what's the most important thing you have, thinking like a business person? Customer. Talk to me.
Customer.
Customer?
My damn life.
Okay. I said family. And he said no. So I said, Bruce, what's more important than your family? I said, thinking like a business person. He said, the most important thing you have is time. Spend time doing the things that make you all the money, and you'll have all the time you want with your family. Write that down. Listen, this guy made $60 million a year, is trying to change my stinking thinking. And I thought I was pretty good selling 53 cars a month. The most important thing you have is time. So what does that mean? Spend more time on making your money. What would that be? What could you do to make more money at the car when you're selling cars?
Prospecting.
Okay, prospecting.
Come to your class.
Well, that's a pretty good answer. Think about it.
Structuring the right deal.
You know, you have to do things. To me, it's mailers, phone calls, prospecting. You know, are we masters at the steps of the sale? We're going to talk a little bit later on how when I sold cars, how I personally would try and throw you and your dealership under the bus every time. I didn't mention your name. I didn't mention the dealership's name. All I did was outsell you. Here's what I'm talking about that. Anybody here going a 15, 20-mile demo? One guy? Two guys? Okay. Well, think about it. Do you get that many ups you can afford to take somebody in a $40,000 car and spin around the block, going 4 miles, 5 miles? Think about what I'm saying here. You got to. My prospecting techniques are only so good. They're going to get you people, but when you get the customer at your dealership, you still got to outperform everybody else. You have to do that. You have to know it. And the reason to make you do that is those 11 goals I have in my book. And Jerry and some of the others are going to talk about the 11 goals. How are you going to be happy if you don't know what it takes to make you happy? Seriously. You're going to see later on. We got that yet? Okay, you're going to see here later on how we got these young kids, and I love them to death. 20-some years old, they're making $150,000, $200,000 a year. How can a rookie that never sold a car in his life go to a dealership and make $200,000 his first year in a town with 15,000 people? He got the right information. I think it's awesome when you run into some of these people, and you can always tell, because you have to make a decision. Is it easy to do the stuff we're saying, or is it hard? To me, it was easy. I used to do roofing and concrete. They fell off the roof more than once, and I said, man, this isn't it. And all the money I made in the summer, I saved, and I spent it all in the winter because nobody's pouring concrete and climbing on snowy roofs in the winter. That wasn't for me. I think a lot of this has to do with luck sometimes. Like I saw mowing in 10th grade and never saw my real parents, and I bumped into a guy who was a car manager. He said, come on, kid, I'll help you make a lot of money. I just dumb enough to listen to him. Now, you want to sell a lot of cars? Write this down. Talk to 15 people a day outside the dealership. I'm going to show you how easy it is to get to 20, 30 cars a month. Write it down. You have to go talk to 15 people outside the dealership every day. Every day. Now, can you do that? Okay. You're not going to do it unless you have a mission, unless you have a purpose, unless you have a reason. What makes you come to work? I want to come to work to have things. When I started, I wrote down real estate, racehorses. I wanted to fly around the world hunting, fishing. I wanted to have my own game reserve, and I wanted to buy my grandmother a house. Of all the people there, I was the only one that hit my goals. It took me 17 years to buy this park in Canada. I just put it for sale. I'm not trying to brag, but I started with nothing, so I'm not trying to brag. I'm going to show you, look, I don't care how bad you are, I don't care where you're at, you need to have a mission of what to do. So when I wrote down real estate, I put money in investments in my book on page 7. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I just kept putting money in. You're going to have people laugh at you every time you try and do something that's way beyond their capacity. So you don't get the pat in the back and the way up, but that's where you got to have a reason. That's why there's 11 goals. So, by the way, this is for sale. If anybody wants to buy, I'd be happy to sell it to you. Can you click to the next one? Okay, racehorses. Listen, I started a racehorse account with $25. Everybody laughed. What can you buy for 25 bucks? I tell you what it buys. It buys you good attitude. Because I didn't. What can you can't do that for $25. But I watched the $25 turn into hundreds, turn into thousands of dollars. When I was done, I had 7 of them at one time. They cost $3 grand a piece. I love these horses. So you can tell, like the hobbies, you have to have something other than work. What's your mission other than coming to work to sell cars, to make money, to pay bills? That's not the answer. You want to have a good attitude in life? Get so many customers coming in to see you, nothing's going to change it. I know what it's like to sell 7 cars on a Saturday and not have one appointment. I can tell you what that's like because I experienced it. A lot of trainers never did that. I was congratulating Tiffany yesterday. She beat me. She had 8, was it? 8. But I still got her at 53 a month. How, I don't know. It's just by luck sometimes when you get this information. I've been doing this since 1986. I met the best of the best. And I invented a lot of this stuff I'm going to share with you. But I met people smarter and better than me. Like this one old boy in Phoenix. He's selling 60 cars a month. He said, quote, I don't do any of this shit. What? He said, I don't do that. I said, okay, what are you doing? You know what he said? He said, I sing everybody happy birthday. He said, my voice sucks, but everybody knows who I am. What do you think of that? And I swear to you, as I'm standing here, if I got back in the car business again, that's what I would do. Why? Because I met somebody rocking and rolling and said, hey, here's how to do it. Now, that might not be for everybody, but you can bet one thing, this kid would. Okay? Now, does it mean anything to get with people who have the knowledge? See this horse here? This horse was running so bad. Actually, I was hunting that day. And I said, all right, I'll just go. Took my wife and went over there to look. And a friend of mine called and said, hey, friend. He said, I'm coming over. He said,